everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Angel Ardito, and for those of you who maybe don't know me yet, basically what I work to do is normalize all things sensual because I have a deep-rooted belief that we're all sensual beings and that none of us should feel shame over experiencing these desires. This video is actually part 2 of my lap dance series. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I highly recommend that you go and watch that. I will add a little link to it up here in the top corner. And what we're going to be going over today is how to gain more confidence and ease some of that anxiety that we tend to feel based around giving lap dances to our partners. Overwhelmingly, the number one response that I get when I start talking to people about lap dances is people telling me that they're too anxious or too nervous, or that they're worried about their self-image issues, their confidence kind of goes down, they're not really sure what they're gonna do, and they're really not sure how to ease those feelings of tension. So without yapping too much about that, let's go into 5 things that you can do to help boost your confidence and ease your anxiety around lap dancing. The first tip that I have is actually in regards to the getting ready process when it comes to lap dances. So often people put way too much pressure on themselves when they're getting ready for the dance. I do not want you to be stressing out over getting ready for the dance. How do we do this? Well, firstly, give yourself ample time to get ready. And secondly, do not tell yourself that you're getting ready for a lap dance. Just tell yourself that you're getting ready for the day like you do any other day. That way you're not stressed out and anxious the entire time that you're getting ready. After all, it's one dance. It's only gonna be a few minutes out of your day, and honestly, most people who feel super anxious before they dance turn around after the dance and wonder why they were so nervous to begin with because it was over like that. My second tip has to do with the process of getting into the mind frame for a sensual dance. Oftentimes people feel like their sensuality should just be like a tap that they can turn off and on, but that's not usually the case for everyone across the board. I highly suggest creating a playlist of music that makes you feel sensual and powerful and blasting that music while you're getting ready. It can help to put you in a fun and flirty mood. You can dance in the mirror, you can kiss your reflection, you can whip your hair around. Music is a massive mood setter, and just like it's important to have great music when you're actually giving the dance, it's also really important to have great music to put you in the mood to give the dance. And if you're not sure where to start as far as playlists go, I have a playlist that I like to listen to when I'm getting ready to be sensual that kind of just puts me in a fun, flirty, sensual mood and fills me up with some confidence. So if you want to give that playlist a listen, I will link it down below. But ultimately, music is just incredibly important, especially including getting you into the sensual mind frame. Now, moving on to tip 3. When you're choosing what to wear for your dance, make sure to pick an outfit that you feel amazing in. You don't want to pick something that's too tight and constricts you and you can't move, but you also don't want to pick something that you feel frumpy in. Take time to think about all of the things that you have in your closet and what you could put on that gives you the most confidence. There's no wrong answer here. It could be a giant baggy t-shirt, it could be a pair of cute little shorts and thigh-high socks, it could even be a dress, or it could even be your birthday suit, all right? I'm not here to judge. But no matter what you decide to wear, just make sure that it's something that you feel amazing in. When you feel amazing about what you're wearing, your confidence will naturally start to grow. And moving on to number 4, relax. How do I relax? I'm so anxious. How do you usually relax at the end of a day after you've worked all day? How do you relax when you're feeling stressed? You can take any kind of techniques that you usually use in your everyday life and implement them before you're about to give the dance. For example, some people like to have a glass of wine before they give a dance. Although, side note, I highly recommend that if you use this option, you only have half a glass of wine. And that's because a sloppy lap dance is not fun for anyone involved. So if you're going to be drinking wine, you want to kind of toe that line between still having self-control but lowering your inhibitions a little bit. But it doesn't just have to be alcohol. You can have a CBD drink, you can have a CBD joint, you can puff. If you're someone who likes to meditate, you can meditate. My personal favorite way to relax right before giving a dance is to take the palm of my hand and place it on my belly. And then I'm going to take some deep breaths, and as I'm doing that, I'm paying attention to the sensation of my palm on my stomach. I'm paying attention to the rise and fall of my stomach. And it's really just such a great way to center yourself and feel like you're one with your body before moving into something really sensual. If you're someone who doesn't want to be one with your body and you're like, I kind of want to crawl out of my skin right now, instead of meditating on yourself and your own body, another option would be to assign yourself a stage name and then meditate on that stage name, or even just kind of think about who that person is. So for example, if you go to a real script club, I can't use the real word on here, you know why, and you pay for someone to give you a lap dance, they're going to tell you what their name is. That is not their actual name. That is what they call their stage name. You can also give yourself a stage name or an alter ego. And although this is not my favorite way to go about relaxing before giving a dance, sometimes it's just exactly what you need. And I do have a stage name. Mine is Phoenix. It might feel weird the first time that you try to do it, but I promise you that it gets easier with time. And if it's not for you, that's totally fine too. But let's move on to tip number 5, my final tip. The biggest way that you can reinforce confidence in yourself is preparation. So many times we're really nervous about things because we feel underprepared for them. And while I wouldn't necessarily advocate for someone to spend hours and hours and hours studying how to give a dance instead of actually doing it, I also wouldn't advocate going into the experience with no understanding of what you're doing. So you want to make sure to prepare at least a little bit. You're doing a great job already because you're watching my series, but when I say prepare, I also mean that in regards to what dance moves do you know? This can be such a point of anxiety for so many people, which is why in my next video, I'll go over some basic moves that you can do during a dance that don't require a ton of effort and are super sensual and fun and make the entire dance worthwhile. It is 100% fine for you to go into a lap dance with no moves prepared, but at the very least, it's important for you to have a few moves in your back pocket. That way, if you hit a point where you wind up not really sure what to do with yourself or how to move your body, you can reach into your back pocket, pull out one of those moves, and perform them without batting an eye. Lastly, while those are all 5 of my tips for how to gain confidence, it's really important to understand that confidence doesn't just randomly appear because you know that you should have it. And it's completely normal and natural to feel nervous and a little bit anxious before doing something like this. It's also important to note that nervousness and excitement are virtually the same emotion. So if you find that you're following all of these tips and somehow you still have nervousness, that's okay. Take that nervousness and just reverse gaslight yourself into believing that it's excitement. Breathe through it. You're gonna be totally fine. A dance is only a few minutes, and this is a really exciting experience that you can have with your partner that demonstrates your sensual power. I really hope that you found this video interesting or helpful. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It really does help me out. And until next time, stay spicy.